Okay, class, welcome to the annual independent reading project. Every year I do this project with the intention of students having something to do over Christmas vacation. I know vacation is in the word and you should be getting a vacation, but part of taking an AP class is also being ready and prepared to be doing other things on top of that. And part of those other things is reading other novels and aspects. So all of this information, including the link to the Prezi, the book list I'm going to go over, and the reading journals that I'm going to discuss, all of this information will be posted on the Google Classroom page. I highly suggest that you download them and add them to your Google Drive and maybe make a folder for yourself so that you can add things to it throughout, because you are responsible for this and it is graded and it will greatly affect your third quarter grades if you are not paying attention to it. Okay, so to get started, every student is going to read a biography or autobiography that is modern. Okay, the person that it's about might not necessarily be modern, but the language is modern. So you're getting a different spin on some of these people. You are then going to take that information and you're going to present it to the class in a creative manner. Now, the creativity and the manner in the presentation I'll get to in a couple slides more. But the idea with the biographies and autobiographies is that we're sticking with that idea of the nonfiction. Okay, and we've been doing nonfiction all year because of the depth of the AP language class with relation to that. So you're going to pick a book from the list of 40 or so books that are on the list that I've posted. And each student, and it says very specifically at the top of the page that each student needs to bring a list of 5 books with them on Monday. On Monday, with your 5 books, we're going to randomly select on Classcraft who gets to pick the book. Or who gets to pick the next book. So much like we did with the speech projects, we're doing the same thing with these novels. No one can do the same novel. So once it's taken, it gets crossed out. But it does say on the list of books that you have until the 16th to change your book. So even though we're picking books on the 12th, if you go home, you start to read your book and you find you don't connect with it, or you start to you have problems finding the book, although I've been able to find all of them on Amazon, you have that 5-day window to change it. But once a book is taken, it is taken. You can't trade with somebody, you can't bribe someone or anything like that to try and do it. You're going to read it over the next 8 weeks. So you're going to have 2 months to do this project essentially. You're going to be doing this project at the same time that we're reading other novels. So that's why I highly suggest that you get as much done during Christmas vacation as possible. Each book ranges from about 200 and 250 pages, sometimes upwards of 400 to 450 pages. If you look at Amazon and you scroll all the way down towards the bottom with the book specs, it'll give you more information like page counts with that. So being able to pick something that you know you can handle is important. And there will be a complete list. And then you're also going to complete several aspects of the project that are due on various due dates. Now, looking and paying attention to the due dates is important. Okay, one thing you're going to work on, and this is going to be ongoing over the next 8 weeks. You're going to do a critical reading journal. The form, or not the form, the questions for the critical reading journal will be posted on Google Classroom. Okay, it has all of the instructions, what format you need to use. It does not have the dates on it, but the dates will be up on turnitin.com because you're going to write these on turnitin.com where we've been doing all of our posting for our forums, our blogs, our discussions, whatever you want to call it, that we've been writing every week. This is replacing the second one. So normally we write 2. We write one about a piece of literature or a topic that we're discussing, and we write the other one about a current event. This will replace the other one, okay? That topic, the reading topic or the reading journal aspect. So it'll replace that one. You still will have the current event journals or the current event discussions taking place. Everything will be turned in each couple of weeks to turnitin.com. You have 3 separate deadlines, each with 2 journals due, and don't wait till the last minute on these. It is very important that you don't miss these, and remember, turning stuff in early for me gets you gold, and I will pay attention to when you are turning them in. And even if you finish the novel early, so even if you decide to read the whole thing over Christmas vacation, you still need to write at least 6 discussion posts. All posts will be posted up in the next day or two so that you could actually get started on them as soon as the assignments are picked, or as soon as the books are picked. So you can actually finish all of the discussion posts and the novel over Christmas vacation if you'd like, and then just have the project to do. Since this is a journal, the language can be informal, but it must be in complete sentences. So I'm not going to grade for grammar, spelling, proofreading, stuff like that. What I'm looking for is content. What are your thoughts like? How are they going? And the topic and the rest of the instructions are listed on a separate document. I'm actually going to open that document really quick so that you can get an idea of what it looks like. So each one's going to be 300 words. You have deadlines. And you have topics here to pick from. Now these topics are in bold, so like here you see one that says pick a quote, another one that says imagery and symbolism, another one that says style and rhetorical devices. There are about 10 to 13, I think, of these topics. You're only writing 6 entries. Okay, you can do an entry more than once, but it needs to be on a different piece, different part of the piece of literature, and you're not allowed to just summarize the plot of the literature. You have to actually get in detail, get in depth, and this actually this document has all of your questions. So when you're posting your journal topic, you need to make sure that you're putting the bolded quoted as the bolded part here, like the pick a quote, as the title for your journal. Okay? So back to the main Prezi. The due dates are listed here. You have 2 entries due by the time we come back from Christmas vacation. You have the next set of 2 due 3 weeks later, and you have the final 2 entries due the day before the presentations will start on February 20th. Each entry is worth 10 points, so this total is 60 points in your project category. Okay, 60 points in your project category. That can affect your grade a lot, considering the project category doesn't always have a lot of projects in it, and the project category is worth 10% of the grade. So missing one of these deadlines will severely affect your grade. Okay. Projects. Now, this is a chance for you to be creative. Each project must include the following things. So it must include SOAPST. Okay, so it's the speaker. Who is the book about and who is the narrator? These might be different because you're reading biographies and or an autobiography. Okay, so keeping that in mind, the narrator might be the author and the book might be about somebody else. Or they might have written it in first person if it's an autobiography. So keeping that aspect is important. And the OPST, or the rest of the SOAPST, you want the theme, main events that are happening. Why is it important that we're reading this novel? What are we learning from it? What morals, what values, aspects? And then if the author is different from who the story is about, you need to also cover the author themselves. Okay, projects. You have 3 options. These 3 options are drastically different, and it gives you a chance to be completely creative with how you want to present your book to the class. Your job is to sell your book. Your job is to get others to want to read your book. So you're going to pick one of the following 3 options. You have the option of making a board game, and the board game, it's how you want to set it up is your choice. It should definitely have a board. It's probably going to have a set of cards or a dice, playing pieces. You can model it after a game that already exists. You can come up with something completely different and out of the box that fits with the idea of what you're picking or the idea of what you're reading, but it must include instructions and it must include playing pieces. So when you bring it to class with you, on the due dates, you must have in a Ziploc bag the playing pieces, if it needs dice, if there's anything else that goes on the board, if there are cards, put those all in one Ziploc bag so that the pieces do not get lost. And then put that on top of the board with the instructions, and that's what you will turn in and present to the class. Okay, the other option you have is a scrapbook. Scrapbook must be for the character that the book is about. So if it's about that athlete, the scrapbook must be about that athlete. It must be at least 15 pages in length. It can be done digitally or it can be an actual scrapbook format, like one of those scrapbooks that you buy at Joann's or Michael's. You can also make a binder with sheet protectors and print out pages and put it in there. But the scrapbook needs to go with the main events. It needs to go with things that happen in the character's life, printing out pictures from online, drawing pictures, being creative with it. If you were this person, how would you put your own scrapbook together? What events would go in there? How would it be important? How would I show this? If surfing is my favorite thing, because that's what the book is about, having those themes recurring throughout the scrapbook is important. The reason I said it can be done digitally is because there are websites like Issue. I don't remember how they spell it online, but it's not the normal spelling of how you spell issue. But it's a digital magazine basically where you can make your own aspect, put in pictures, put in words, and design it, and it kind of looks like a magazine, but it's done digitally and it's online, and you can change the pages on there, and you can show that in class and send me a link of it. The next one is a video project. This is where you can also be creative as well. It needs to be at least 5 minutes in length, and it must show off and include aspects of the book. You can have skits, you can have actors, you can act like you're interviewing the person. It is completely your choice, but again, must be appropriate for school, must be creative. You need to do the editing. You can add music, titles. You can have other people be in your video. It is your option. Okay, but it also, each of these projects, remember, must include the required elements. So it must have soaps, it must have stuff about the author, it must have theme, must have main events. Okay. Presentations will take place on Tuesday, February 21st. I know I made a mistake here with Monday, Tuesday. I forgot to delete the Monday from last year's slides. We don't have school, I think, on Monday the 20th because of President's Day weekend. So we will be doing presentations starting on Tuesday. Presentations will be randomly selected, but everyone must be prepared to present on the first day. Obviously, with 20 plus kids in the class, it's not all going to happen on the first day, and we saw that with the speech presentations as well, and that's part of why I picked a shorter week to do the presentations. Each presentation must be 3 to 7 minutes. You need to at least hit 3 to get your 10 points, but if you go over 7 and I have to cut you off, you're going to lose points. So we will have timers going as well. The project itself is worth 30 points. The presentation and your individual skills on how you present it is 10 points. And then the final aspect is the timing, and that's another 10 points for a total of 50. If you take these 50 points and you do the journal entries that are worth 60 points, you know that this project is 110 points all on your third quarter grade. Okay, so on Monday, bring your list of books, check out the list on Google Classroom, and have a great weekend.